When we first stepped into this A-frame, it didn't feel like a house. It felt like a skeleton. Years of neglect had allowed nature to move back in. Invasive vines were weaving through the rafters, and the floor was a mosaic of shattered glass. It was a ruin. But for Sarah and David, it was an opportunity to finally slow down. Sarah is a writer, and David works in restoration himself. They needed a home that didn't just house their belongings, but one that protected their peace. Our goal wasn't just to repair the damage, but to create a functional sanctuary where every room had a reason to be. We started at the heart of the home, the kitchen. This kitchen is the heart of the A-frame, reimagined for a client who values clarity and quiet mornings. When we first walked in, nature had almost entirely reclaimed the space. Vines were growing through the broken glass, and the old metal units were lost to deep rust. It was damp, dark, and completely unusable. We focused on reclaiming the light. We replaced the shattered panes with expansive, energy-efficient windows and installed custom white cabinetry that follows the steep pitch of the roof perfectly. To anchor the room, we added a monolithic black island that serves as both a prep area and a social hub. The result is a space that feels incredibly open despite the narrow footprint. By choosing a minimalist palette and hidden storage, we've turned a chaotic ruin into a functional sanctuary. Now, the focus is exactly where it should be, on the view outside and the meal on the table. The first thing we did was to rescue the sweet cat for whom this room had been a home, a refuge from the rain and snow for many years. This master bedroom was designed as a quiet sanctuary at the very top of the A-frame house. Originally, the room was completely at the mercy of the elements. The windows were broken and the interior was damp, making it uninhabitable for anyone except the local wildlife. We began by reinforcing the structure and installing high-performance windows for proper temperature control. We replaced the rusty metal and debris with clean, insulated walls and soft, recessed lighting that echoes the architectural lines. The centerpiece is now a comfortable, minimalist bed positioned to admire the sunset through the floor-to-ceiling glass walls. We chose this layout to prioritize relaxation and simplicity. By clearing out the clutter and focusing on hidden warmth, we transformed a drafty, forgotten attic into a functional sanctuary. It is no longer just a shell of a building. It is a place where you can finally shut out the world and feel truly protected. This room was designed as a private study, a quiet sanctuary at the top of the house meant for deep focus and reflection. When we first arrived, it was heartbreaking to see. The A-frame's windows had shattered, letting in the damp air and creeping vines, while the original furniture was lost to decay. It felt more like a forgotten attic than a workspace. We started by replacing the broken glass with high-efficiency glazing and insulating the structure to ensure it remains comfortable regardless of the season. To open up the floor plan, we chose a minimalist glass desk and low-profile cabinetry that doesn't compete with the architecture. We added soft textiles and a halo pendant to bring warmth to the sharp lines. result is a space that feels both expansive and grounded. By clearing away the physical and visual clutter, we've created an environment where the mind can finally settle, allowing the view to inspire rather than distract. This pool house was intended to be a private sanctuary, a place for the family to disconnect and find a bit of stillness. When we first arrived, the space was more of a ruin than a room. Shattered glass let in the damp, and nature had begun to reclaim the pool with vines and stagnant water. It felt cold, heavy, and completely forgotten. We focused on restoring the structural integrity while modernizing the aesthetic. We replaced the broken glass with high-efficiency glazing and used black frames to anchor the view. The interior was finished with clean white paneling and slip-resistant stone floors for safety. We also chose a dark mosaic for the pool lining to give the water a deep, reflective quality. The result is a functional year-round retreat. It's no longer a drafty, overgrown shell, but a controlled environment where the light is soft and the water is always inviting. It's finally a place where they can actually rest. This attic wardrobe was designed as a quiet, private sanctuary for the homeowners. When we first stepped in here, the space was completely lost to the elements. Vines were growing through the broken glass, and the rusted metal lockers were beyond saving. The steep, triangular geometry felt like an obstacle rather than an asset. We decided to embrace the architecture by installing custom, integrated cabinetry that follows the roofline perfectly, making use of every awkward corner. We replaced the shattered windows with clean, high-performance panes to flood the room with soft, natural light, and added a central display island for smaller essentials. The result is a highly functional space where everything has a dedicated place. By clearing the visual clutter and working with the building's natural shape, we've turned what was once a derelict shell into a room that brings a sense of order and peace to the start of every day. This was designed as a private sanctuary at the peak of an A-frame home, intended for a couple who needed a place to truly disconnect. When we first arrived, the room had been completely reclaimed by the elements. The glass was shattered, rust had destroyed the original fixtures, and wildlife had moved in. It felt less like a bathroom and more like a ruin. We began by securing the structure and installing high-performance frosted glass to maintain privacy while flooding the room with soft light. we chose a seamless white marble for the walls and floor to create a sense of infinite space, then anchor the room with a minimalist freestanding tub. Every fixture was wall-mounted to make cleaning effortless and to keep the floor plan feeling open. It's no longer a cold, damp space. It's a warm, bright haven that offers a quiet, practical start to the day. We wanted to turn this unique A-frame attic into a peaceful sanctuary for a child. When we first arrived, the space was in a difficult state. Shattered windows and creeping vines made it feel cold, damp, and completely exposed to the elements. It was far from the safe haven a child needs. We started by securing the structure and installing energy-efficient glass to flood the room with natural light while keeping the heat in. We chose a soft, muted palette and custom-fitted low cabinetry into the eaves to maximize storage without crowding the floor. The goal was to create a sense of groundedness. By keeping the bed and play furniture low, we've made the sloped ceilings feel protective rather than seasonal. It's now a warm, functional space where a child can feel both tucked away and connected to the outdoors. It's no longer a forgotten attic. It's a quiet corner for rest and imagination. This attic was always intended as a sanctuary for the family, a place to detach from the workday through games and film, but for years it sat neglected. Broken glass and creeping vines had turned it into a cold, damp shell, filled with decaying furniture and tangled wires. It felt heavy and forgotten. We wanted to give the space its breath back. We stripped everything away, reinforcing the A-frame structure and installing high-efficiency skylights that fill the room with soft, even light. By choosing a monochrome palette and minimalist furniture, like the organic curved sofa and sleek billiards table, we made the sharp architecture feel calming rather than restrictive. The result is a functional retreat that finally feels intentional. It's no longer a storage graveyard, it's a dedicated zone for play and relaxation, where the air is clear and the family can truly settle in. Everything here now has a purpose. Looking at the space now, it's hard to remember the damp, dark storage unit it used to be. What was once a place of decay is now a sanctuary that invites you to stay. For David and Sarah, it's finally the exhale they've been looking for. It's private, it's expansive, and most importantly, it's finally home. I'm Anna, and this was the A-Frame Retreat. Thank you for spending a bit of your day with us.